Now that we've gone over how sort works in the aggregation pipeline, we can talk about first and last. First and last are group operators, and they're going to allow us to get the first or last value in each group as the aggregation pipeline processes the documents. So I think a little example will make it more clear how this works. So let's say we have a set of documents, and these are the documents here, and they've been sorted by A, comma B. So they've been sorted by A, comma B. So for instance, we have this document with value A0, B23, then 0, B45, 0, B97. And again, here we have 0, B17. Excuse me, I wanted to make this a 1, 1, B17, 168, and 173. So you can see how they're sorted A, comma B. Now, let's say I want to group by A. If I group by A, then I'm going to process the documents sort of in, logically in this set and logically in this set. And then if I ask for the first of B as I'm grouping by A, I'm going to get this value, and I'm going to get this value. So if in the grouping by A, where A is 0, I'm going to get B, the first of B is 23, and where A is 1, the first of B is 17. On the other hand, if I ask for last, then I'm going to get this value and this value. So after a sort phase, these first and last operators can find the first or last document in sorted order in each group. So let's see how we would use this in a practical situation. All right, let's say we wanted to find the largest city in every state. So how would we do this? Well, we would have to find the population of the city in every state. And I do this here in this first grouping here, where I'm looking at a group by state and city, and then I get the population as the sum of the pop in grouped by state and city. And I actually have just this part of the query that I'll show you the results so you can kind of visualize what it does before we move on. I call that phase 1. So let's look at that. I'm going to pipe it to more just to make it look a little cleaner on the eyes. So you can see that what we get is basically every city in every state, we get the population. So Smoot, I guess, Wyoming. All right, and we do that. Now we have the population of every city. So what do we need to do next? Well, the next thing we need to do is we need to sort it by state, comma, population. And remember that these documents have an underscore ID of state and city. So my sort has to be on underscore ID dot state and population. So we do that, and you can see that we sort by underscore ID dot state and by population. And we don't need dollar signs here because this is a sort operation, and the key names are on the left side here. So I call this phase 2. Let's see what we get out of the system for that. All right. So in phase 2, in every state, I have a descending list of cities by population. So I can already see that in in Alaska, Anchorage is the biggest city. And then it's going to go through all the other Alaska cities, and eventually it'll go on to another state. There's a lot of cities in Alaska. So let's go to phase 3. So in phase 3, now I want to pick out just the first one when I group by state. So just to review those documents again, so remember how they look. Those documents have underscore ID, which is the document of state and city, and a population here. So this next grouping is going to group by state. For each state, we want the city, which is the first document in that grouping. So the first city, $_ID.city, first one, and population, first population. And that's going to be what we need to get the information we're looking for. So that's called phase 3. Let's take a look at that. All right. In phase 3, I now have filtered it down to the biggest cities in every single state by using my first operator on what was previously a descending sort by state, comma, population. But they're not in any particular order, which is interesting because they were sorted by state before, and after the group by phase, they seem to be sort of arbitrarily ordered. So to fix that up, what we're going to do is finally we're going to sort it by state again. And the final part of this is that we're going to sort it by state, and that's going to give us the final result. let's take a look at that. Now we can see that in Alaska, it's Anchorage. In Alabama, it's Birmingham, and so forth, all the way down. Now we have the largest city in every state ordered by state. If we wanted to clean it up a little bit more, we could do a project, and we could rename this underscore ID operator to be state, but I didn't do that. All right, so let's do a quiz. Given the following collection, and this is a collection we used in an earlier problem, it's a little collection, what would be the value of C in the result from this aggregation query? And you can see what we're doing here is, well, you can read it, but we're matching on A being 0, we're sorting by C descending, and then we're doing a group where we look at the first value of C. You have to figure that out. What's the value of C? And I'll just tell you there's only one value of C. There's only one document in the results set.